How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them, or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end. Welcome to Biomutant. Encode your DNA. Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color. Pick a class. Commando. Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Deadeye. Commando. Deadeye. Command Psy-Freak. Saboteur. Sentinel. Deadeye. Commando. Psy-Freak. Psy-Freak chosen. That'll work. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun. We're already at a crossroads. Choosing a path in life is that fork in the road where you make a choice or simply stop living. But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice, a reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Let me introduce myself. I'm the light and bright side of you, or your inner voice to be precise, an echo of balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Seems more like you're being light-headed if you ask me, but you'll come around, eventually.
But what comes around goes all the way back around. So, it's better to stick to your instincts. You can't fight what's in your nature.
In your nature, and here I was hoping we'd be all about natural selection, survival of the strongest, and so forth. If that's not instinct, then I don't know what is.
Ha! Natural selection is all about evolution and progress, and as soon as there's enough light, darkness will disappear.
Right is always right. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others. Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger. run for it. This is not the time nor place to end this story. This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes. The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the Tree of Life started to die. The oil sludge is everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Get a grip. The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment and changed with it. Evolution has its ways. Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight. pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy. Whoa! It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under distress, blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you. A ladder would be better. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks traveled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding a new home for their kind. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. They began dumping the toxic waste in the surf just off the coast instead, assuming that it would sink and decay with time. And they were right, but no one was prepared for what was about to unfold. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours. The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out. Your key energy is all used up. He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then, the night everything changed. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's happy to see it's true. The legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. It's a scar you're covering under that eye patch, isn't it? But he would have recognized you anyways. You look exactly like your Muma. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back. But he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. After the old village was destroyed and you disappeared, a struggle between the families erupted, and over time, the disciples turned against each other. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree. Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Mooma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, an excellent source of ki. The Nono prefer to hide in glitter grass. He says you should get over there and ruffle it. See if you can make one come out of hiding. You've found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The Nono's ki energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life. Only time will tell. At least his intention is to dedicate his life to it. He has the feeling the fate of the world depends on it. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. He's grateful for all the help he can get. There's lots of Nono out there that need to be guided to the roots of the Pensai tree. Oh, it'll need a continuous flux of ki over the 12 months to come, so countless, he'd say. One day, he hopes the tree will have grown tall enough to sustain the world. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the Nonno's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai into a tree of life, a life goal, not only for our village's sake, but for all of us, everyone. One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. You can already see the effects from how reckless those before us acted, and unless something changes, we're doomed. The land won't survive the side effects of the old world's industrial advances. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lots on her mind and needs rest after the raid last night on the Lupin camp with her disciples. Wonders if they let the Predator family live or not. He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. It's part of a trail you can follow. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the Tree of Life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived. The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse the Toxinol Corporation inflicted on the land set the World Eater's DNA into overdrive. His friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget and is preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that you'll all die if the tree isn't saved. He claims names have power, so he gave them these names to weaken them. For him, the Porky Puff is particularly personal. It was that carnivorous beast that took his leg. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb. Know that the Tree of Life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the World Eaters. A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged. Let's see. Must be the World Eater that chewed off Out-of-Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down. The World Eaters have made their marks on our world over time. That's not the first nor the last village it'll leave in its wake. Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive. He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the World Eaters to other enclaves, but never expected one to come all the way here. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. Anyway, he needs help and says it's by your actions you'll be judged, not by your intentions. He's grateful for that. You still seem to have a spark of light in you.
Ah! That's a spark of light in you!
What's there to like about light? It hurts to look at.
Not as much as it hurts to look at you.
Always making this personal.
And you're always trying to pretend it's not.
There's Out-of-Date again. He must have missed something important. Out-of-Date says you will make a better stand against the World Eaters with the support of a tribe, and there are two nearby. The Myriad tribe is likely to be a good match as they act on the understanding of the greater good and have a code of honor. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy, as the conflict between the tribes is worse than ever, teetering on the brink of war. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out-of-Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Myriad especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. Myriad is convinced that defeating the World Eaters is the only way the world can be saved, but they've been forced to focus on their rivalry with the Jagni tribe. Out of Date will be waiting for you beneath the Tree of Life if you lose track of what you need to do. Regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the World Eaters. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be? It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. Your key energy is too low. This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone. That's the Myriad tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance. Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war. The Sifu is mindful of his time, but thinks you'll just have to find out for yourself if he's willing to spend some of it on you.
Sibi? Lapvanen aginkanman. Karatna fala hutut mustugai la wute.
The Myriad tribe act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The Sifu is convinced that defeating the World Eaters and saving the Tree of Life is the only way to make the world a better place. He welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's Sifu. But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you. He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next, and that's something you have in common. He's convinced you've returned for a reason, and is glad you chose to come here. There's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you as a kidling. He can still sense you're kind-hearted. The Sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples. Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain. The Sifu says it's time to set the past aside, at least for now. Unrest is sweeping the land, and there are rivals in all directions. Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. If you believe there's some good in everyone, there's still hope for tomorrow. You'll unite the tribes and defeat the World Eaters to save the Tree of Life. He was hoping you'd join them. You understand that there's no harm in doing good to others. The Sifu was waiting for something to tip the balance in their favor, and with you by their side, he's confident you can unite the other tribes. The one you should coerce first is the Jagni tribe. The Myriad were placed here to fulfill a certain purpose, chosen to unite the tribes and take control of their destiny. The tribes need a firm hand guiding them into the future. Their kin have run out of options and found themselves backed into a corner. Even those who desire peace have been forced to prepare for war. You need to take the struggle to the enemy, or the enemy will bring it to you. When survival is threatened, there's no other option left but war. He wants you to focus. These are the new rival outposts your tribe needs to take control of. He says you'll regret not being on their side. The only way you'll learn their secrets, Wung Fu and the tribe weapon now, is if you defeat him. And that will never happen.
Britta.
You both have gentle minds, so they want to wage a gentle war. A war that bonds as much as it breaks.
Britta. Lappanen aginkan man. Papa mos.
Tells you not to be afraid. Your fate cannot be taken from you. Claim the rival outposts and earn the right to wield the tribe weapon.
Papa mos.
Once you've dealt with the rivals' outposts, you'll challenge their Sifu to unite their tribe with yours and let your kin share.
Manes slenkjok.
They passed the point of no return as their words lost power and see no other way forward than using violence to combat violence.
Wapala misa. Alabanglif.
Myriad wants unity between the tribes. Their goal is understanding of the greater good and establishing a code of honor. Anyway, the memories you make with your family are strong and can sometimes come to life. Passing the old village on your way to the first rival outpost might help.
Karap la wute. Saramoto.
Even though it's now a different place from a different time, it is a place that'll make you remember. Let's see. Better beware, that's a mump up ahead. They were hit hard by evolution, the wonky ones especially, deformed and unfurled. Your reserves are tapped. You've been eating right. Time is lost on this place, but it evokes a tingling sensation. There's something special about it, drawing you closer. Let's see. As time passes, memories fade, and sometimes feelings change. It's not about who you were, it's about who you'll become. This story is far from over. Echoes of a long-lost past, like whispers in the wind. Here's someone who takes each day as it comes. He asks how you are today. Goop says he always does better whenever he leaves failure behind. He's happy his good mood is infectious. He wonders where you've been. He hopes you've been out at the lake, practicing your swimming technique. Learning to swim can be scary when you don't know what you're doing. But fortunately, he's here to give you a helping hand. He thinks you should really know how to swim by now. And he'll be honored. He says that wasn't too bad, was it? Way to go. Don't let the sound of the waves drown out your spirit. But you need practice. Lots of practice. Great things usually happen to those who never stop trying. He hopes you'll be one of them. You just need more time in the surf. That's the only way you'll ever learn how to swim. You can never try too hard. Judging by your Mooma's look, it seems you forgot something. You promised you'd train with her before the sun goes down. It's time to go. The dedication to training is important. You can't rely solely on the fact that Wang Fu is in your blood. You should know, practice makes perfect. As long as it doesn't kill you, it'll only make you stronger. She'll see you at the village square. She says that's good. With a passion for learning, you'll never cease to grow. Here's another familiar face with lots on his mind. Asks how you're feeling today. His only interest when creating is that what he comes up with is actually useful. He was hoping you could help him pick up some scrap for a thingamajig he's working on. He's happy to hear that from someone that's a part of the coming generation. You owe it to yourself to protect the environment. He wonders what usefulness you found. He says every little thing counts. He can work wonders with almost anything and asks if you know how to upcycle. That's the spirit. You can't make a difference unless you get your hands dirty. He'd love to teach you to upcycle, and the scrap you found would be a good start. You did well, but he can't help but wonder why you decided to craft a weapon. He appreciates those able to deliver a sharp remark. Gizmo doesn't mind sharing. What's his is yours, and what's yours is his. It looks like she's starting to lose her patience. You know she doesn't like waiting for you. She wants to see you on the village square. Then you've got a good excuse. You share a responsibility to prevent hardship on nature and the environment. It's your future. She wants you to grow up and start thinking for yourself. You really need to find yourself before she... She won't live forever, you know that. But she intends to make the most of every day she gets, especially the ones you share together. You've always followed your own path, but this time she needs you to follow her. Then start by meeting her on the village square and take it from there. She knows you're a free spirit, always on the move, like the wind. They look determined. Better watch out. He asks you to stop right there and wonders where you think you're going. He says that it's not too late for you to turn back, though. He wants to know who you think you are. They push each other to become better, and sometimes someone gets pushed down along the way. She asks if you're hurt. What happened? She says it's nice of you to consider them, but they have weapon training at sunrise tomorrow, so they'll need all the rest they can get. The most important thing is that you're okay. She suggests that you forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them more. Here's someone close to heart, doing what he does best. Seeing you always puts a smile on your Popsy's face. He wants to know how you're feeling. Training with Muma will make you feel better. It always does. He'll leave the quick part to you. You're the martial artist, after all. He's curious to see what you've found. He's all for renewal and has even... He can work wonders with pretty much anything. Says at least dirty hands are proof that you tried, and that counts. That you failed this time doesn't mean you can't succeed the next. The style might be too edgy for his taste, but it looks sharp on you. He knows she's already proud of you and everything you've achieved so far. You should take it with you, wear it to practice. He's sure your Muma will forgive you for not wearing the traditional outfit. Your Muma says it's about time you got here. Hopes you're as ready as you claim to be. But there's enough time left for repetition, and you need it. Training dummies don't hit back. Wants you to prove that with some practice first. Your Muma says you did well today. She's so proud of you. Thanks you for being such a good student. You should go see him and find out what it is. You've deserved it. That's why you should be sure to thank him for it. Catchy. Your Muma says she's never seen an apparatus as green as this little thing. It's wonderful. Figuring that out is half the fun. A piece of Scraptronics like this has built-in old-world tech that makes it a potent communication device. It's called an automaton, and it's hardwired to your DNA. It'll follow wherever you go and see whatever you see. Says it's not a record keeper, more like a companion. Your Muma says you look tired. No wonder, it's been a long day. Says a good rest makes you ready for tomorrow. Rest and you'll find strength for tomorrow. could stop Lupa Lupin from setting the world on fire.
Ancora. Can see. Come on.
Your Muma urges you to blaze a trail. A burnt kidling will learn to dread fire. Give it a last burst and you'll make it. Your Muma says this is it. The time has come. She must fight Lupa Lupin. He wants to destroy her. The time to fight is coming, whether she's ready for it or not. She tells you to stay back. This is her fight. It has nothing to do with you. History. Exactly what she wants you to do. Here it comes. The past coming to haunt the present. You must go through fire and water to make it out of here. Your Muma says you can make it if you believe in it. Where she goes, you go. Blood is thicker than water. You're in deep surf. Don't make waves. The surf goes where it wants to go. It'll take you to the shore as long as you go with the flow. Death is not to be feared by one who has lived life with a pure heart. A part of her will live on in you. The creature is hungry for more. Nothing is going to stand in its way now. If a sacrifice is made for someone else, it's not lost, but passed on to the next. Life must go on. Real sacrifice comes from love and necessity when all other options are exhausted. The ultimate test of conscience is the willingness to give up anything to save what you truly care about. What you do for yourself dies with you. What you do for your kin remains and makes you immortal in their memory. As the moment fades and is lost, the only thing that remains is loneliness. It doesn't mean you'll forget your past. It simply means you need to move on. Better than nothing. The tribe's caught a fluffy hulk. Better watch out, it's no pet. They couldn't keep it down. Fluff hulk's on the loose. You gave them no choice but to take it down, even though they'd planned to take the Fluff Hulk out to the far Fnacky leaves and let it go. A group of myriad crusaders already headed out to Jagni's Mercadorpus outpost and are waiting for you there. The myriad tribe is prepared to fight to the death for souls that will be forever lost if not saved. Look, an emergency box from the old days. When wow, bet that nut makes a tight fist. Toxanol was something called a corporate juggernaut, and our world still bears the marks of the massive ecological catastrophes they inflicted upon the land. The apocalypse they caused was the end of days for their world. But for us, it was simply a beginning. Tunnels like this still carry echoes from the past. Can you hear it? Hot metal. That one good. Dim up. are full of mysteries. That notice board, filled with the leftovers of used-to-be wants. You're getting close to one of those old Toxanol brick towns. Pay attention. The Toxanol Corporation made this place, and then just threw it away when they were done with it. Toxanol never cared about the waste, as long as they didn't have to pay to clean it up. Stories keep moving whether you drive them or not. A flush stool from the back in time. It's an apparatus that sink-sunks yellow juice and brown bobs. Let's try out the brush away. Seems like the tighteners on the piping need to be unturned correctly to drain the flush stool. Just a few moves left. Make them count. That's the kind of trouble you really want to wash away. You found the whereabouts, the deepest, darkest forest in the land, sometimes hard to see for all the trees. A day in the forest is as pleasant as you could wish. That's a Jagni tribe outpost. Mercadorpa's outpost, a Jagni tribe stronghold. Let's see. Says it's time to set the outpost free. Inflict as little damage as possible as you make your way through to the rival captain. Freedom is not worth having in a world that's doomed. Here's the first line of defense. That's a bomb lobber. Spot, wrecked it. That twirly wheel works that drain pipe. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Didn't line them up just right. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Didn't line them up just right. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Didn't line them up just right. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Didn't line them up just right. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Didn't line them up just right. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Didn't line them up just right. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Didn't line them up just right. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Didn't line them up just right. Spin the twirly wheel and open that drain. Everything's clocking together. A key for every lock. Keep going. That cage is holding a helper. They never lost hope you'd come, but weren't sure if they'd last long enough. Won't hesitate to carve out some revenge on those who hurt them. A sharpshooter. The scaffolding looks unstable. Here's the second line of defense. Better stay clear of the red ray. Red means danger. Timber. Bet a big bump will bring it down. Switched off the light. A barrel shoot. Smack it to get a barrel out of it, then hit it toward the gate and blast it. That looks splody. Shoot it and watch it blow. Not too close, though. You're in. Almost there. The outpost belongs to your tribe now. He says you made them weaker, but they won't give up. Your Sifu thanks you. Your tribe is growing stronger.
Getting up. Firma Gatano Shuburo. Get out full of Vasine Habele.
Says you did a great job capturing the outpost. You've earned the privilege of...
La Fanen Aginkanman.
Figures the honor belongs to the tribe, too. Out-of-Date says he's doing his best to keep up, but from what he can tell, it seems you're making progress with the tribe conflict.
Loma Utulu Ba Yowo.
He had a feeling you'd get along with the Myriad tribe, but it remains to be seen what the future holds for your alliance. You seem to share the same values as the Myriad tribe. You both have the same optimistic outlook on life. At least, for now. But Out-of-Date emphasizes that solving the tribe conflict won't matter unless you help make a stand against the World Eaters. That doesn't sound good. Out-of-Date's forebodings are justified. The Jumbo Puff needs to be taken care of. He says the time has come to confront the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route. Gizmo is working on making his Mekton strong enough to endure the oxygen-deprived dead zone all the way out to the World Eater. You should get over there and see what you can do to help. Sparkles about how brilliant it is to have someone like you that shares both genetics and karma in the myriad spectrum. Days are scarce. Don't waste them. Small things for your big ideas. That's a gnote. Easy prey for Lupin. For everyone else, they're a perfect mount and easily tamed if they are kept fed. Where are the control sticks on this thing? That's a resource totem, a monument left behind by those that picked scrap, trying to keep the area clean. It's the chug yard. Oh, it's locked. The board mainly has posts from those that used to work at the chug yard back in the days gone. They don't make much sense these days. Not much more to say about the board, but Gizmo is holed up in the underyard here working on that mekton of his. The rails used to be filled with chugs packed tight with two-leggeds, like guppos in a tin. This box once tailed a chugger. Now it's just off track. Look at that, right in the chug yard. Follow the rails and you'll find all sorts of little treasures scattered all over the place. Of course not, but they get you closer to wherever you might want to go. Good work finding that track. They can teach you so much about the world. Keep looking for more. Tribes always scavenging for scrap, and the yard has plenty to go around. But they should have stuck to looting instead of playing around with sprockets. You're fresh out of key energy. Bomber Bonkers busy ram-banging the door. This is your chance. Not going to happen with your key energy level. Scrapalicious. We're all heroes of our own stories. Or so we hope. Let's see. Yes, you can do anything. The sky's the limit. Now, let's take this back to Earth. Wow, you really took that all the way down to the end, in flames. It's a wonder some of these up and downs still work. Guess they built machines better in the past. The spent nuclear fuel that Toxanol dumped in the surf had detrimental effects on the marine habitats, while the overflowing landfills contaminated the groundwater. Combined, this sent their world hurtling on an inevitable road to ruin. I need to brush up on my Wando, but I have a feeling he believes it was you that caused the bang at the yard. Oh, and he says he knows you. You used to call him Gizmo. He gave you the oil-greased hands when he taught you how to upcycle. Gizmo remembers you as a nice kidling, and he can still sense the warmth of your good heart. But Gizmo says how you experience a memory can be different. You know the story, but sometimes the truth it brings is personal. It carries so much hate, and its insatiable hunger has only increased over the years since it claimed revenge on your parents. Gizmo says he also has re-memories from the long gone, but unlike you, he doesn't think of the past, for it's gone. He understands history made Lupa Lupin a big part of your past, your present, and soon, your future. You still believe there's some good in everyone. You still have hope for tomorrow. He says you should know that what's meant to be will always find a way, but history shouldn't consume you. Gizmo encourages that. You should forgive, but never forget. It'll provide some comfort to your soul and keep the memory of lost loved ones in your heart.
Beat out that spark before it starts.
It was so young, so fragile. It had so much to give.
Better to take it down now while you still can.
Fire catches. Eventually.
would like to know if you ever doubt the choices you made on the path that brought you to this point. Would you have been happier going in a different direction? Figures you're either a rare person or a good liar. Maybe both. Hard to believe the world is actually going to survive. Just seemed impossible till now. Grateful to you for coming back and doing your best to change things. You were the only chance they had. Wonders if you liked working with the Myriad. They always seem so centered and so seeking. Thinks that's more than most are. It's hard to keep to a path like that. Gizmo says it's taken a long time to bring the past up to the present, and where you go from here is up to you. You need to set the past aside, at least for now. You should return when you've retrieved the scrap. There's no time to waste if you want to make the Mectons strong enough to fight the Jumbo Puff. It's the part of the land that suffered most from the apocalypse. It's deprived of oxygen, making it next to impossible for anything but creatures that were most contorted by the contamination. There's short of breath and death to this zone. Better take care. He who half breathes, half lives. That's the leftover you're looking for. The air is so dry. This place is like one big secret that keeps unfolding. Looks like the switches need to be turned to match so enough charge can flow through the conductors. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. The stars never give enough light. He says that's enough to get the Mekton functional. You'll have an engine, a fuel soaker, a gun and a gathering net, but no armor, nor enough oxygen supply. He made a suction device so the Mekton can use the black tar as an instant refuel. You can also use it to clear oily goo puddles, so you can pass and access hard-to-get-to areas. The best way to find Scripps is to go talk to Moog. He knows the ins and outs of every breathing thing left alive after the apocalypse. Unfortunately, this means you'll have to venture farther out into the dead zone than Moog's camp on the steep depot. Once you find Moog, he'll be able to give you directions to where you'll find Scripps. He noticed the Jumbo Puff has a short attention span, so the Scripps should distract it long enough for you to inflict some damage. The night time is the right time. You're here for a reason. It's up to you to figure out what that is. That's just nasty. Biohazards make you puke. Let's see. The world needs saving. Make the most of the day. You're absolutely drained. It's a rare sight. Treasure it. Wildlife here is teetering on the brink of extinction. We all are. The meat-eater again. Nothing seems to satiate his hunger. The note is done for unless you intervene. Grab tight and don't let go. Might want to hold your breath before you head any further. You're about to witness the breathtaking vistas of what's known as the Dead Zone, the village of Blubbermud, which is maybe as messy as it sounds. Let's see. Seems like your mount likes you well enough. It's a ride, not a friend, right? That over there is Steepo Depot, the cliffside that Moog hangs on to.
Botse. Inmo. Diava.
Let's see.
Untlum. Jamakuda Horedatunka.
This one's impressed to see you out here. He figured you'd be dead, but
Jamakuda Horedatunka.
says a monster hunter hears many things on the wind,
Stana untiza fela.
choosing what to kill and what to spare are the most important decisions you'll make.
Inta badan. Kurududua. Echine.
It's hard to make those life or death decisions for others, but someone's got to do it. When it comes to monsters, he mostly picks who dies.
Jak intanka kuru. Mashako hersave.
Says it's wild that the world seems to be coming back, but he supposes that means more monsters for him to shoot.
Segaya lama yaba. Zatuna.
Says you should give up on working with the stubborn myriad. He keeps trying to put out their lights and they keep putting up new ones.
Segaya lama yaba.
He's afraid you're just as stubborn as them.
Waxandonia inan machemal.
But enough of that, right?
Waxandonia inan machemal. Zerni ne nafternen.
He says the wildlife, nature, has changed and turned against us. Instincts of survival took over when the world changed.
Schose eskuku Johanna. Tudu baba. Untlum faubzor.
Right now, though, he feels he's come to a point where he's got a pretty clear idea on the whereabouts of monsters, both tall and short.
Vaxa u inta badal.
Says as big as they are, the world is bigger. To find where they are, you need to see where they've been.
Vaxa u inta badal.
Moog says you must learn to walk before you can run. It takes practice before you can call yourself a monster hunter.
Why ad foodlea haya?
Fortunately for you, he can help. He understands you need to start off with something small before you go big.
Mishako here. Kuhu amanka.
There's no better place to start than a squip cave. Hunting down a couple of these little critters for yourself should keep you on your toes.
Kuhu gak.
Says you stick to the hunting and shots present themselves later. Save your energy. This is no way to live, but keep at it anyhow.
Leicht.
Moog says you should go hunt for squips in the cave.
Witze Njavov.
Moog says you should... You sit down too long, you might not get up. Let's see. Keep your feet beneath you. Bet something's up there. Wait, it's the Scrip hole-up. Place is just filled with critters. Keep your feet beneath you. Wait, it's the scrip hole-up. Place is just filled with critters. Even the feel of the air changes as you go underground. Don't stop to rest. Wait, it's the scrip hole-up. Place is just filled with critters. Good thing you're not claustrophobic. That ain't bad. gross. This place stinks. Once the volatilization from the nuclear waste evaporated, a volatile gas rose through the soil and infested structures, even Toxanol's own buildings. So, in a way, they caused their own death. Just listen. You might hear something important. Not just from me. How far underground do you think you are? Oh, idea. Go knock the lid off that sludge truck. It'll fill the place up and you can get up to that entrance there. Good thing you love to explore, even underground. Oh, idea. Go knock the lid off that sludge truck. It'll fill the place up and you can get up to that entrance there. You're a mighty hunter. That's right, the first rule of gunfighting. Bring a gun. You need to line up the switches so they match. Just a few moves left. Make them count. Good. That's enough electric current to initiate the actuators and activate the framework. Feel the night wrap around you. In the old world, roads like this really led somewhere. Now, most of them lead to disaster. Don't let the dark time take you. Can you imagine how this place used to look before the dead oil flood? The grease monkey's Mekton is built sturdy, just like himself. He says that's enough scripts to sustain the Mekton's claw crane cannon with infinite ammunition. Well done. It's not his cleanest invention so far, but it gets the job done. Use it to suck up gooey oil puddles in the Mekton's way so you can pass. It's time to put a stop to the World Eater now. Otherwise, he fears the damage it's caused to the tree already will be too much to handle. There's time to improve the Mekton before you confront the Puff. There are more wreck boxes out in the dead zone with gear you should be able to equip the Mekton with on your... It's already quite sturdy, but upgrading it will greatly improve your chances of victory. You need to help Gizmo defeat the Jumbo Puff before it says you must look to the Tree of Life to... Says you should take care. Gizmo wants to help if he can. Understands you have things to do. Take small breaths. Stomping time. It's been a long night, but it's over soon. Seems like a peculiar item. Bang, bang. All things end. Take small breaths. Perks of them. Half-life. Eyes on. Every day, everything seems like it happens at once. You can take all the hits. Took care of it. That's a jumbo puff with an appetite. Ain't no fuzz. Better put an end to it before it ends our world. Jumbo Puff is kicking it up a notch. It's time for an electric performance. Couple of more hits and it's a fried circuit board. Bad feeling about this. It goes all the way down to the stomach. Start like a snack, and you'll end up with a ride down the intestinal canal. That's too close to the end station. Better move up. Look at you, all pooped out. From this point on, there's no way forward but going back in. That's too close to the end station. Better move up and away, or be swept out the bowel way. Wow, what a super-sized wormwood. That must be as big as they come. You see, it's what's on the inside that counts. That meaty tortoise is already offbeat. End it. Better pumped out than flushed down. Don't let it happen again. pumping at half a beat. You know what to do. Guessed it would go down with a throw-up. Can it really get any better than that? He thanks you for dealing with the first World Eater. It's a start. You're good-hearted enough, so you'll have no problem getting him to share the information with you. He trusts you know where to find Out of Date by now. He's always been at the foot of the tree, and that hasn't changed.